Welcome to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite provides you with all the resources you need to become a successful author. You can learn more about Authors Unite and join the free community at authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner, and today I have Dr. Nika White with us. She is a national sought-after consultant, thought leader, and speaker to countless organizations and executives on issues of team management, organizational leadership, strategic diversity, and intentional inclusion, and the author of Amazon bestseller, The Intentional Inclusionist. So welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. I appreciate being here.
Of course. Appreciate you coming on. We'll start off with the first question. The first one I have for you is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
So, Tyler, I'm going to relate that to my work of diversity and inclusion. And the story that comes to mind for me would be when I was in the 6th grade, I actually had what I considered, or my family considered, to be a family friend that owned a daycare. And she picked me up from middle school, and she was taking me home. And I remember she asked about my parents. She wanted to know how my parents were doing. And specifically, she asked about my mom. And I shared with her my mom was doing well, and thanks her for asking. And she said to me, and I'm an African-American female, but she said to me, "Your mother is the most beautiful Black woman I have ever met." And the reason that I wanted to share that story is because I think that it brings to light the significance of being very conscious and aware of our words. She really thought that she was presenting a compliment to me. And even as a 6th grader, I recognized that there was something wrong with that compliment. It didn't feel like a compliment at all. And I think that it's those stories in my life that's driven me to a place where I'm really drawn to this work of diversity and inclusion and helping people to understand how to disrupt unconscious bias.
Thank you for sharing that with us. The next one I have for you is, what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
Be authentically you. I have not always been in a place to where I was comfortable doing that, particularly if you consider some of the settings that I may have found myself in where I was the only person that looked like me. But at the end of the day, the best advice that I received as I was struggling to try to find my way and find my voice was to just be you, be authentically you, unapologetically you.
And what is your best piece of overall business advice, so not necessarily industry specific?
So I would say that whether you are, in a true sense, a traditional entrepreneur where you are a business owner, or if you're not, but you are working within an organization as a W-2 employee, be entrepreneurial minded. An entrepreneurial spirit has a lot of value in terms of being able to creatively problem solve, become very innovative and have a sense of ownership about whatever it is that you attach yourself to. And so I think an entrepreneurial spirit and thought mindset is critically important, no matter what type of industry you're in.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
To slow down and live in the moment. I think that we spend a lot of time as young people wishing that we were a little bit older, that we've already had a certain level of experience, that we forget to really take in the moment that's been gifted to us at that given point in time. And so that's what I would tell myself, to slow down and just enjoy life, every moment of it. Don't try to rush things.
And it might tie in, but in your opinion, what's the key to happiness?
I think the key to happiness is, really finding joy in some of the most minute, simple things in life that we tend to take for granted every single day. So I'm a person that really believes in taking a moment to meditate and to reflect on what's going well. And that gives you just a real great sense of gratitude. And it's hard to be unhappy when you're so grateful for all that's been afforded to you. So that's what I would say.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
Well, outside of the Bible, I'm a devout Christian and firm believer. I would say that a book that I have read most recently that has really changed my outlook on so much is Crucial Conversations. It's an incredible book. It has a lot of alignment with my discipline in diversity and inclusion, but Crucial Conversations is really a book that I would recommend for all leaders.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
So I have so many quotes. I love words. I believe in the power of the narrative and the power of words, particularly inspirational words. The one that I heard maybe a couple years ago, and it has always remained with me, is "Don't tell me to shoot for the stars when I have seen footprints on the moon." I just love that.
Love it too. Thank you so much for coming on. The last question I have for you before we let you go is, where is the best place for people to find you online?
Oh, great. So my website, which is nikawhite.com, that's Nika white, just like the color.com, and they can connect with me there as well as find how to connect with me on social media. But go to my website, nikawhite.com.
Perfect. Thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me, Tyler. I appreciate the opportunity.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.